The silver ship moved through space like a gentle leaf floating on water. Captain Taemin stood on the bridge and watched the yellow star grow bigger on the screen. His long blue fingers touched the control panel with care. The star had 9 planets around it, and the third one from the star looked very interesting. It was blue and green and white, spinning slowly in the dark. Sora walked up to him with a datapad in her hands. Her large purple eyes looked worried. She was the best science officer in the whole Galactic Council fleet. "Captain, we are getting strange signals from the third planet. The signals have patterns. There might be smart life down there." Taemin turned his head to look at her. His people came from Altair, where everything was peaceful. They ate plants and lived in harmony with all creatures on their world. Violence was something they only read about in books from other planets. "Smart life, are you sure?" "Yes, Captain, the signals show numbers, music, and moving pictures. Someone down there is trying to talk to the stars." Sora touched the screen and showed him waves of data flowing like rivers of light. "The planet looks perfect for life. Lots of water, good air, and the right temperature." Hyunwoo came running from the back of the ship. He was their mind doctor, someone who studied how creatures think and act. His green skin was darker than usual, which meant he was excited. "Captain, you need to see this. The planet has thousands of different life forms. The computer is still counting them." Taemin felt his heart beat faster. In all his years flying through space, he had never found a world with so much life. Most planets had maybe 10 or 20 different animals. "Show me what you found." The 3 of them walked to the big screen room. Hyunwoo pressed some buttons and the walls came alive with pictures from the planet below. They saw great forests with trees taller than buildings. They saw endless blue oceans with waves bigger than their ship. They saw hot places with no water and cold places covered in white ice. "Look at this," Hyunwoo said, pointing at a picture of something moving in the water. It was long and gray with teeth like knives. "The computer says this creature is longer than our ship and can swim faster than we can fly." Sora stepped back from the screen. Her people came from a world where the biggest animal was the size of her hand. How do the smart creatures survive? With monsters like this around? Taemin knew the rules that all space travelers followed. When you find smart life, you must first study the most dangerous animals on their world. This tells you what kind of creatures the smart ones had to fight to become smart. Every thinking species in the galaxy used to be food for bigger, stronger animals. That is why they learned to think and work together. "We follow the old rules," Taemin said. "First, we find the worst killers on this planet. Then we understand what the smart ones are like." Janae ran into the room. She was young and new to space travel, but very good with computers. Her silver hair was flying behind her like water. "Captain, I found them. I found the smart ones." The screen changed to show strange creatures walking on 2 legs. They had no fur or scales, just pink or brown skin. They looked weak and small compared to the other animals on their world. "These are called humans," Ginny said. "They live all over the planet. They build things and make tools and talk to each other." Dong-hyun, the ship's guard captain, looked at the humans with confusion. His red eyes could see things others could not. "They look like prey animals, but they are not running or hiding. Look, they are walking around in the open like they own the place." Taemin stared at the pictures. Something was wrong. These humans did not look like any smart species he knew. They were not big and strong like the Corvani. They did not have hard shells like the Trillim. They did not have poison like the Cess. They just looked soft and easy to catch. "Show me their worst enemies," Taemin ordered. "What do they run from?" Hyunwoo worked on his computer for a long time. Finally, he looked up with a strange expression on his face. "Captain, I think there is a mistake. The computer says humans are at the top. They are not running from anything." "That cannot be right," Sora said. "Look at them. They have no claws, no big teeth, no armor. What do they eat?" "Everything," Janae said quietly. "The computer says they eat plants and animals. They eat things from the water and things from the land. They eat things that are still alive and things that are dead." Minho walked into the room carrying a big book of rules. He was old and wise, and knew more about alien life than anyone else on the ship. "What is the problem here?" Taemin pointed at the screen. "We found smart life, but we cannot understand how they survived. They look weak, but the computer says they are the strongest." Minho looked at the pictures for a long time. His white beard moved as he thought hard. "Show me what they eat, the smart ones, I mean." The screen filled with new pictures. Humans were eating many different things, but what made everyone quiet was seeing humans eating the same big creatures with knife teeth they had seen before. The monsters from the water were on plates, cooked and ready to eat. "How?" whispered Sora. "How do they catch something so big and dangerous?" "Tools," Minho said. "Look at their hands. See how they can grab things? They make tools to catch food that is bigger than they are." Boram came running in with her hair flying behind her. She was the one who drove the ship through space. "Captain, you need to see this right now. I found something that will scare you." She pressed a button and the screen showed humans in small boats on the ocean. They were next to creatures so big that the boats looked like tiny dots. But the humans were not running away. They were swimming in the water with these giant animals. "The big ones could eat them in one bite," Boram said. "But look, the humans are playing with them." Taemin felt cold inside his chest. This was not how nature worked. Big things ate small things. Smart creatures stayed away from dangerous ones. But these humans were swimming next to things that could kill them without trying hard. "There is more," Boram continued. "Watch this." The picture changed to show humans on land with creatures that had big teeth and claws. The creatures were not trying to eat the humans. Instead, they were following the humans around like children following their parents. "Impossible," Donghyun said. "Those are killing machines. Why are they not attacking?" Minho was quiet for a very long time. Finally, he spoke in a voice that was almost too quiet to hear. "Because the humans are not prey. I think we need to change how we look at this planet." Taemin felt his stomach turn. "What do you mean?" "I mean," Minho said slowly, "that maybe we should not be asking what these humans run from. Maybe we should be asking what runs from them." The room became very quiet. Everyone stared at the screen where humans were still playing with creatures that could destroy their whole ship without working hard. Outside, the blue and green planet spun in space, beautiful and peaceful looking. But now they all wondered what kind of world they had really found. Dr. Hyunwoo could not sleep. For 3 days now he had been watching the data from the blue planet, and each new discovery made his mind hurt more. He sat in his small room with pictures of Earth animals covering every wall. His green skin had turned pale and his hand shook when he reached for his coffee cup. The door opened and Sora walked in. She looked at the pictures on the walls and her purple eyes grew wide. "Hyunwoo, what are all these creatures?" "Nightmares," he said without looking at her. "I have been making a list of the most dangerous animals on the human planet. Every time I think I found the worst one, I find something even more terrible." Sora picked up a picture of a gray and white creature with 4 legs. It looked almost cute compared to some of the others. "This one does not look so bad." "That is a wolf," Hyunwoo said. His voice was tired. "They hunt in groups. They can run for days without stopping. They follow their prey until the animal falls down from being too tired. Then they eat it while it is still alive." Sora dropped the picture. "How horrible." "But here is the strange part," Hyunwoo continued. "Humans live with these creatures. They keep them in their homes. They feed them and play with them and call them friends." "That cannot be true." Hyunwoo showed her a video on his computer. On the screen, a small human child was rolling around, on the ground with a creature that looked like a wolf. The child was laughing and the wolf thing was licking the child's face. Humans changed wolves into something called dogs. They made them into many different sizes and shapes, but they are still wolves inside. Sora sat down hard in a chair. Her legs felt weak. "Why would they keep predators as pets?" "I do not know," Hyunwoo said. "But it gets worse, much worse." He showed her another picture. This one was of a small black and white creature with bright eyes. "This looks harmless," Sora said hopefully. It is called a honey badger, Hyunwoo said. It is small, but it attacks everything. Lions, elephants, even things 100 times bigger than itself. It fights deadly snakes for fun. It breaks into places just to cause trouble, and it never gives up, never runs away, no matter how badly it gets hurt. Sora stared at the picture. But why? Why does it fight things so much bigger? Because it can, Hyunwoo said simply. Jin-ae studied these creatures for 2 days before she had to. Stop, she said. Looking at them made her feel sick. The door opened again and Jin-ae walked in. Her silver hair was messy and her eyes looked red. Did you tell her about the dolphins yet? Dolphins? Sora asked. Jinny sat down and put her head in her hands. I thought I found something good finally. Dolphins are smart like humans, maybe even smarter in some ways. They talk to each other and work together, and I thought maybe they would be peaceful. But they are not, Hyunwoo said quietly. No, Jin-ae said, and her voice was full of sadness. They are terrible. They attack other dolphins just for fun. They torture smaller animals before they kill them. They do things that serve no purpose except to cause pain. And the worst part is, they seem to enjoy it. Sora felt cold all over her body. Enjoy causing pain? Yes, Jinny said. I watched videos of them playing games where they hurt other creatures. They throw fish around like toys until the fish die. They attack baby dolphins from other groups. They do things that even our worst criminals would not do. Hyunwoo pulled up another file. Then I found these. The picture showed creatures that looked like tiny dragons, with big eyes and wings. Bats. They sleep hanging upside down in dark places. Some of them drink blood. Like vampires from the old stories, Sora whispered. Exactly like vampires. But that is not the scary part. The scary part is how many different kinds there are. Earth has over 1,000 different types of bats. 1,000. And humans think they are normal. Commander Dong-hyun came into the room without knocking. His red face was darker than usual, which meant he was angry or scared. I have been watching their war videos, he said. These humans fight each other, but not like any species we know. What do you mean? Sora asked. Most creatures fight for food, territory, or mates. Humans fight for ideas. They kill each other over thoughts in their heads. They have wars that last for years, sometimes hundreds of years, over things they cannot even see or touch. Jin-ae looked up. I saw that too. They fight over which invisible being they think made the universe. They fight over what color their skin is. They fight over lines on maps that do not really exist. But the worst part, Dong-hyun continued, is how good they are at killing. They make weapons that can destroy whole cities. They plan battles like artists make paintings. They study war like we study science. Hyunwoo opened another file. I thought maybe their small animals would be less dangerous. I was wrong. He showed them a picture of a fluffy creature with big eyes and a long tail. This is called a house cat. Sora smiled for the first time in days. Finally, something cute and harmless. It kills for pleasure, Hyunwoo said. It hunts even when it is not hungry. It catches small animals and plays with them until they die from fear or pain. Then it leaves the bodies and goes looking for more things to kill. The smile died on Sora's face. Humans keep millions of these creatures as pets, Jin-ae added. They think this behavior is normal and even cute. Boram's voice came from the doorway. May I come in? I have something to show you all. They turned to see her standing, there with a data pad. Her face was white and her hands were shaking. I have been studying human entertainment, the things they do for fun. Entertainment? Sora asked. Yes. They have something called extreme sports. They throw themselves off high places with only a rope to stop them from dying. They swim in freezing water. They climb mountains that kill many people every year. Why would they do such things? Dong-hyun asked. Because normal life is too boring for them, Boram said. When their world becomes too safe, they create danger on purpose. They look for ways to almost die because almost dying makes them feel alive. Hyunwoo was quiet for a long time. Then he said, I have been thinking about this planet for days now. I think I understand what kind of world this is. What do you mean? Sora asked. This is not a normal planet, Hyunwoo said slowly. Most worlds have some dangerous creatures and some safe ones. Earth is different. Earth is a planet where everything is trying to kill everything else all the time. The plants are poisonous. The animals are deadly. Even the small, cute ones are killers. So how do humans survive? Jinae asked. Hyunwoo was quiet for a very long time. When he spoke, his voice was so low they had to lean forward to hear him. I think humans do not just survive on this planet. I think they are the reason it is so dangerous. I think they made it this way. The room became very quiet. Outside, the blue planet spun peacefully in space, looking beautiful and innocent. But now they all knew the truth about what lived on that pretty world. What do we do now? Sora asked. We keep studying, Hyunwoo said. We need to understand these humans completely before we decide what to tell the Galactic Council. And if what we find is worse than this? Jinae asked. Hyunwoo looked at all the pictures on his walls. Pictures of creatures that seemed impossible, living on a world that seemed like something from the worst nightmares. Then we warn everyone in the galaxy to stay far, far away from Earth. Dr. Minho walked into the main research room carrying a cup of tea that had grown cold hours ago. He had not slept for 4 days straight, and his old eyes felt like they were full of sand. The room was dark except for the blue light coming from dozens of computer screens. Each screen showed information about the humans and their terrible planet. Wu Jin was sitting at the biggest computer, typing so fast that his fingers looked like they were dancing. He was the ship's doctor, but he was also good at studying how creatures lived and died. Minho, you need to see this. I think I understand what humans really are. Show me, Minho said, sitting down in a chair that was too small for his old bones. Wu Jin pressed a button and the big screen lit up with pictures of human history. I have been looking at how humans lived thousands of years ago, before they built cities and machines. I wanted to understand how they became the top animals on their planet. The screen showed pictures of early humans walking across wide grasslands. They looked even weaker than modern humans with no tools except simple sticks and stones. They do not look very dangerous, Minho said. That is what I thought too, Wu Jin said. But watch this. The screen changed to show a group of these early humans following a huge animal with long curved teeth. The animal was many times bigger than all the humans put together. This animal could kill all of them easily, but look what they do. Minho watched as the humans followed the big animal for what looked like days. They did not attack it. They just walked behind it, always staying just close enough to keep it moving. I do not understand. They are wearing it down, Wu Jin explained. Humans can walk and run longer than almost any other animal on their planet. They sweat to cool their bodies so they never get too hot. They can drink water and eat food while they walk, but the big animal cannot do these things. On the screen, the huge animal finally fell down from being too tired. It was breathing hard and could not get up. Then the humans moved in with their simple weapons and killed it. They did not overpower it, Minho said slowly. They outlasted it. Exactly, Wu Jin said. But that is not the scary part. The scary part is what happened next. The screen showed more pictures of human history. Minho watched as humans spread across their entire planet. Everywhere they went, the big animals started to disappear. Giant ground sloths, huge bears, massive cats with knife teeth, enormous birds that could not fly. All of them vanished shortly after humans arrived. Where did they go? Minho asked, though he was starting to guess the answer. The humans killed them all, Wu Jin said quietly. Not for food, not for territory, but because the big animals were dangerous or inconvenient. Humans decided their planet would be safer without them. Da-Yun came running into the room with her arms full of data files. She was breathing hard, and her face was red with excitement or fear. I found the worst thing yet. I found out about human war. She threw the files on the table and started pulling up videos on her computer. I thought I understood fighting after watching animals hunt each other. But human war is something completely different. the screen filled with images that made Minho feel sick to his stomach. Humans in groups of thousands all working together to kill other humans. But these were not simple fights over food or land. These were organized, planned, scientific approaches to killing. "Look at this," Daun said, pointing to a picture of humans using tools to throw fire at other humans. They invented ways to kill enemies from far away. Then they invented ways to kill many enemies at once. Then they invented ways to kill enemies they could not even see. "But why do they fight each other?" Minho asked. "They are all the same species." "That is what makes it so horrible," Daun said. "They fight over ideas, abstract concepts. They kill each other because they disagree about invisible beings they think control the universe. They destroy cities because they do not like the way other humans look or talk or think." Wu Jin pulled up another file. "I studied their most recent wars. Minho, they have weapons that could destroy their entire planet. Not just kill all the humans, but make the whole world unlivable for thousands of years." "And they built these weapons knowing what they could do?" Minho asked. "They built them because they knew what they could do," Daun said. "They call it deterrence. They threaten to destroy everything so that their enemies will be too scared to fight them." Minho felt very old and very tired. What kind of species builds weapons to destroy their own world? "The kind that already destroyed everything else," Wu Jin said quietly. Heywan came into the room carrying a small robot. She was the ship's engineer and could fix anything, but now she looked confused and scared. "I have been studying human technology. I do not understand how they learned to build such things." She put the robot on the table and pressed a button. A picture appeared in the air showing the inside of human machines. "Look at this. They have machines that think, machines that can learn and make decisions. They are trying to build artificial minds." "Like the old stories about the builders?" Minho asked. "The builders were a species from long ago that tried to create thinking machines and ended up destroying themselves." "Exactly like that," Heywan said. "But humans know those stories. They know what happened to the builders. They are doing it anyway." "Because they think they can do it better," Daun said. "Humans always think they can do anything better than anyone else who tried before." Minho stood up and walked to the big window that looked out at Earth. The planet looked so beautiful and peaceful from space. Blue oceans, white clouds, green and brown land. It was hard to believe that such a pretty world could produce such terrible creatures. "I have been thinking," he said slowly. "Every species in the galaxy evolved from prey animals. We learned to think because we needed to hide from predators or run away from them. Our intelligence comes from fear." "Yes," Wu Jin said. "That is the basic rule of evolution." "But humans did not evolve from prey," Minho continued. "They evolved from predators. Their intelligence does not come from fear. It comes from the need to hunt better." The room became very quiet. Everyone stared at Minho as he continued to look out at the blue planet. "Think about what that means," he said. "We use our intelligence to hide and run and avoid danger. Humans use their intelligence to find danger and destroy it. We solve problems by going around them. Humans solve problems by going through them. But they are not the biggest or strongest creatures on their planet," Heywan said. "No," Minho agreed, "but they are the smartest. And they use that intelligence like a weapon. They do not need to be stronger than a lion or faster than a wolf. They just need to be smart enough to kill lions and wolves." Daun was looking at her files again. "Minho, there is something else. Something that might be the most important thing of all." "What is it?" "Humans are not finished evolving," she said. "They are still changing, still becoming something new. But they are not waiting for nature to change them. They are changing themselves on purpose." She showed them pictures of scientists working with tiny machines smaller than cells. "They are rewriting their own bodies, making themselves stronger, smarter, able to live longer. They are taking control of their own evolution." Minho felt a chill run down his spine. They are making themselves into something new. "Something better at being human," Wu Jin said. "Better at surviving, better at learning, better at—" He stopped talking and looked scared. "Better at killing," Minho finished for him. Captain. Taemin's voice came from the doorway. What are you all discussing so seriously? Minho turned to face his captain. We are discussing whether we should warn the Galactic Council about humans or warn humans about the Galactic Council. Taemin stepped into the room and looked at all the screens full of information about Earth and its people. What do you mean? I mean, Minho said slowly, that after studying these creatures for a week, I am not sure who would win if there was ever a conflict between humans and the rest of the galaxy. That is impossible, Taemin said. There are millions of species in the Council. Humans are just one species on one planet. Minho looked back out at the blue world spinning in space. Captain, that is exactly what the giant animals with knife teeth thought about early humans. Chief Medical Officer Wu Jin had been staring at the same data file for 3 hours without moving. His coffee had turned cold, his food had turned hard, and his eyes felt like they were burning. But he could not look away from what he was reading, because what he was reading was impossible. The door to his office opened and Bo-Ram walked in carrying a plate of food. You missed dinner again, she said, setting the plate next to his computer. What are you looking at that is so important? Something that cannot be real, Wu Jin said without looking up. But the data is right here and I cannot find any mistakes in it. Bo-Ram looked at his screen. It showed pictures of humans with various Earth animals, but these animals were not trying to eat the humans or run away from them. Instead, they seemed to be living together peacefully. What is wrong with these pictures? Everything, Wu Jin said. He pointed to a picture of a human child sitting next to a large, furry animal with big teeth. This creature is a wolf. We already know that wolves are pack hunters that can kill things much bigger than they are. But look at this one. Bo-Ram looked closer. The wolf was sitting calmly next to the small human and its tongue was hanging out of its mouth. It looked almost happy. Why is it not attacking? Because it is not really a wolf anymore, Wu Jin said. Humans took wolves thousands of years ago and changed them. They bred them to be friendly, loyal, and obedient. They turned one of the most dangerous predators on their planet into a companion. How is that possible? Wu Jin opened another file. They did not just do it once. Look at this. The screen filled with pictures of dozens of different animals, all descended from wolves but looking completely different from each other. Some were tiny and fluffy, some were huge and muscular, some had long hair, some had no hair at all, some had flat faces, some had long noses. All of these came from wolves? Bo-Ram asked. All of them. Humans spent thousands of years breeding wolves to make them into exactly what they wanted. And they did not just make them friendly. They made different types for different jobs. Some for hunting, some for guarding, some just for company. Da-Yun came running into the office with her hair flying behind her. Wu Jin, you have to see what I found. It is worse than the wolf thing. Worse how? Humans do not just keep predators as pets, they keep everything as pets. She started showing pictures on her datapad. Look at this. Humans keeping deadly snakes in glass boxes in their homes. Humans swimming with sharks that could bite them in half. Humans living with birds that could claw their eyes out. Wu Jin felt his stomach turn. Why would they do such things? Because they can, Da-Un said. Because controlling dangerous creatures makes them feel powerful. Look at this one. She showed a picture of a human holding a small, fuzzy animal with big eyes. This looks harmless, right? Yes, Bo-Ram said. It looks cute. It is called a ferret, Da-Yun continued. It was bred from wild animals that kill things bigger than themselves. Humans made them smaller and friendlier, but they still have the hunting instincts. They still kill for fun. Haiwan appeared in the doorway carrying a large data crystal. I have been studying human entertainment again. I think I found something that will explain everything. What kind of entertainment? Wu Jin asked, though he was not sure he wanted to know. Places where humans go to look at dangerous animals, Haiwan said. They call them zoos and aquariums. Humans pay money to get close to creatures that could kill them. She activated the data crystal, and the room filled with a three-dimensional image of a large enclosed area. Inside the area were some of the most dangerous predators they had seen from Earth. Outside the area, separated only by a thin barrier, were hundreds of humans, including small children. They are just standing there, Boram whispered, right next to things that could tear them apart. And they look happy about it, Daun added. Look at their faces. They are smiling and laughing. The image changed to show humans in a dark tunnel surrounded by water. Swimming in the water were enormous sharks with rows of sharp teeth. The humans were taking pictures and pointing excitedly as the sharks swam just inches away from them. I do not understand, Wu Jin said. Where is the fear? Where is the survival instinct? I think they do not have one, Haiwan said quietly. I think humans evolved past the point where they are afraid of other animals. Sora came into the room carrying a cup of tea and looking very tired. I heard you talking about human entertainment. I have been studying something called extreme sports. What are extreme sports? Boram asked. Sora activated her own data, Ed. Sports are games that humans play for fun. Extreme sports are games where humans try to almost die. She showed them videos of humans throwing themselves off cliffs with only thin ropes attached to their legs. Humans jumping out of flying machines with cloth wings. Humans swimming under ice in freezing water. Humans climbing up the sides of mountains during storms. But why? Daun asked. Why would they do such dangerous things when they do not need to? Because normal life is too boring for them, Sora said. When their world becomes too safe, they create danger on purpose. They need to feel like they might die or they do not feel alive. Wu Jin was quiet for a long time, thinking about everything they had learned. Finally, he said, I think I understand what kind of species humans are. What do you mean? Boram asked. Most species avoid danger, Wu Jin explained. We run from things that might hurt us. We hide from predators. We make our lives as safe as possible. Yes, Sora said. That is how all intelligent creatures behave. But humans are different, Wu Jin continued. They do not avoid danger. They seek it out. They are not satisfied unless they are facing something that could kill them. Haiwan was looking at more data files. It gets worse. Look at this. Humans have something called adventure tourism. They pay money to go to the most dangerous places on their planet. She showed them pictures of humans walking through jungles full of poisonous creatures, diving into underwater caves where they could get lost and drown, climbing active volcanoes that could explode at any moment. They are paying to put themselves in mortal danger, Daun said. For fun. And look at this, Sora added, showing more pictures. Humans swimming with electric eels that could stop their hearts. Humans getting close to bears that could crush their skulls. Humans walking through areas with snakes whose bite could kill them in minutes. Captain Taemin walked into the room and looked around at all of them. Why does everyone look so scared? Captain, Wu Jin said. We have been studying how humans interact with the dangerous creatures on their planet. And what did you find? They do not run away from dangerous creatures, Sora said. They collect them. Taemin looked confused. What do you mean, collect them? Wu Jin activated the big screen and showed the captain pictures of humans with various deadly animals. They take predators and make them into pets. They visit dangerous animals for entertainment. They go to dangerous places for vacation. They create dangerous sports for fun. That cannot be normal behavior, Taemin said. It is normal for humans, Daun said. Captain, I think we need to understand something important about these creatures. They are not like us. When? How so? We evolved from prey animals, Daun explained. Our instincts tell us to avoid danger, to be careful, to survive by not taking risks. But humans evolved differently. They evolved as apex predators, Wu Jin continued. Their instincts tell them to seek out challenges, to test themselves against dangerous things to prove they are the strongest. Taemin sat down heavily in a chair. You are saying that humans actively look for danger. Not just look for it, Sora said. They create it when they cannot find enough of it naturally. Boram was looking at a new file. Captain, there is something else. Something that might be the most disturbing thing yet. Show me. Boram activated a video that showed human children playing with various animals. But these were not the safe domesticated animals they had seen before. These were wild creatures, dangerous ones, and the human children were laughing and having fun with them. Human children are not afraid of predators, Boram said quietly. They have to be taught to be afraid. Their natural instinct is to approach dangerous animals and try to play with them. The room became very quiet. Everyone stared at the screen, showing small human children fearlessly interacting with creatures that could kill them without effort. What kind of species raises their young to not fear death? Taemin asked quietly. The kind that has never had any natural enemies, Wu Jin said. The kind that has been at the top of the food chain for so long that they forgot what it feels like to be prey. Taemin looked around the room at his crew. All of them looked tired and scared and confused. What do we do with this information? I do not know, Captain, Wu Jin said. But I think we need to be very careful about how we make contact with these humans. Why? Because if this is how they treat the dangerous creatures on their own planet, Sora said slowly, I am very afraid to find out how they will treat dangerous creatures from other planets. Captain Taemin stood alone in his private office, looking out the large window at the blue planet that had changed everything. 2 weeks had passed since they first detected the signals from Earth, and now he had to write a report that could change the fate of the entire galaxy. His hands shook as he reached for his communication device. The door chimed and Dr. Sora entered carrying a thick folder full of data files. Her purple eyes looked tired and worried. Captain, I have finished the final analysis you requested. Tell me what you found, Taemin said, though he was not sure he wanted to hear the answer. Sora sat down and opened the folder. We have studied humans for 14 days. We have examined their history, their behavior, their relationship with other species, and their technology. What we found challenges every assumption we have about intelligent life. Go on. Humans are not just another predator species, Captain. They are something entirely new. Every other intelligent species in the galaxy evolved from prey animals. We learned to think because we needed to hide or run or cooperate to survive against bigger, stronger creatures. Taemin nodded. This was basic knowledge that every space traveler learned. But humans evolved as the hunters, not the hunted. Sora continued. They used their intelligence not to hide from danger, but to become more dangerous themselves. They are the only species we know that became intelligent while remaining apex predators. Dr. Hyun-woo knocked on the door and entered, without waiting for permission. His green face was pale and his hands were shaking. Captain, we have a problem. A very big problem. What kind of problem? The humans have noticed us, Hyun-woo said. Our ship is hidden, but they have instruments that can detect us anyway. They know something is watching their planet. Taemin felt cold fear creep up his spine. How do you know this? Their communications have changed, Hyun-woo explained. They are talking about unusual readings in space near their planet. Their military forces are becoming more active, and worst of all, they are starting to send signals toward our location. What kind of signals? Mathematical sequences, universal constants. The same kind of signals we send when we want to communicate with unknown intelligences. Sora looked at her datapad. Captain, this fits with everything else we have learned about humans. They do not hide from unknown dangers. They approach them directly. Daeun came running into the room with her silver hair flying behind her. Captain, you need to see this immediately. The humans are not just sending signals anymore. She activated a portable screen that showed the area of space around their ship. Moving toward them was a small object that definitely had not been there an hour ago. They launched something. It is heading straight for us. A weapon? Taemin asked. We do not think so, Daeun said. It is too small and moving too slowly. We think it might be some kind of probe or communication device. Wu Jin entered the room carrying his medical scanner. Captain, I have been monitoring the crew. Everyone is showing signs of extreme stress. Heart rates are elevated, sleep patterns are disrupted, and several people are having anxiety attacks. Why? Because we are not equipped to deal with this kind of situation, Wu Jin explained. Our psychology is based on avoiding danger and hiding from threats. But humans actively seek out danger. Our instincts are telling us to run, but we cannot run because we need to complete our mission. Commander Dong Hyun appeared in the doorway with his red face looking darker than usual. Captain, I have been reviewing our defensive capabilities. If humans decide to attack us, we are not prepared. Do you think they will attack? I do not know, Dong Hyun admitted. Everything we have learned about humans suggests they might do anything. They could try to destroy us, capture us, or simply ignore us. Their behavior is completely unpredictable. Min-ho walked slowly into the crowded office, leaning on his walking stick. Captain, I have been thinking about our situation. For many hours, I believe we need to make a decision quickly. What kind of decision? We need to decide whether to make contact with humans or to leave immediately, and recommend that this system be declared forbidden to all council ships. Taemin looked around the room at his crew. All of them looked scared, tired, and confused. What are the risks of each option? If we leave without making contact, Min-ho said, humans will eventually develop space travel on their own. When they do, they will come looking for us, and we will not be prepared for them. But if we make contact now? Taemin asked. Then, we might be starting something we cannot control, Sora said quietly. Captain, humans do not think like we do. They do not want the same things we want. What do they want? Challenges, Hyunwoo said. They want to test themselves against new opponents. They want to explore unknown territories. They want to meet new species and see if they can defeat them or dominate them or at least compete with them. Ginny came running into the office with her arms full of data crystals. Captain, I have been monitoring human communication since we detected their probe. They are very excited about the possibility of meeting aliens. Excited how? Not the way we would be excited, Ginny explained. We would be excited about learning and sharing knowledge and making friends. Humans are excited about the challenge. They are already making plans for what they call first contact scenarios. What kind of plans? Military plans, mostly, Ginny said. They are preparing for the possibility that aliens might be hostile. But they are also preparing for the possibility that aliens might be weak. The room became very quiet. Everyone stared at Ginny as she continued. Humans have written many stories about meeting aliens, she said. In most of these stories, humans either fight the aliens and win, or they help the aliens become stronger and more like humans. They want to change us? Taemin asked. They want to improve everything, Sora said. It is how they think. When they find something that is not perfect, they try to make it better. They have been doing this to their own planet for thousands of years. Boram's voice came from the communication panel. Captain, the human probe will reach us in 6 hours. We need to decide what to do. Taemin stood up and walked to the window again. Earth looked the same as it had 2 weeks ago. Beautiful, peaceful, inviting. But now he knew what kind of creatures lived on that pretty blue world. Options? He asked. We could destroy the probe and leave immediately, Dong Hyun suggested. Tell the council that this system contains a dangerous species that should be avoided. We could make contact and try to establish peaceful relations, Sora offered. Maybe humans can be reasoned with. We could study them longer from a safe distance, Hyunwoo said. Try to understand them better before making any decisions. Min-ho tapped his walking stick on the floor. Captain, I do not think we have those options anymore. What do you mean? I mean that humans have already made the decision for us, Min-ho said. They know we are here. They are coming to meet us whether we want to meet them or not. The only choice we have now is how we respond when they arrive. Taemin was quiet for a long time, thinking about everything they had learned. Finally, he activated his communication panel and began recording his report to the Galactic Council. This is Captain Taemin of the research vessel Harmony's Edge. We have completed our study of the intelligent species in the Sol system. What we have found is unlike anything in Council records. He paused, looking around at his crew. The species, known as humans, represents a completely new type of intelligent life. They evolved as apex predators on a world where almost every life form is dangerous. They do not fear death, they seek out challenges, and they have never learned to be prey. Another pause. We recommend immediate quarantine of the Sol system pending further study. However, we must warn the Council that quarantine may not be possible. Humans are aware of our presence and are actively attempting contact. They show no fear of unknown species and appear to view first contact as an opportunity, rather than a threat. Taemin looked out the window one more time at the blue planet that had changed everything. We also recommend that the Council begin preparations for the possibility that humans will develop space travel independently. When they do, they will come looking for us. And based on everything we have learned about their species, they will not be coming in peace. They will be coming to explore, to challenge, to test themselves against whatever they find out here. He ended the recording and sent it toward the galactic core, where it would take months to reach the Council. By then it might already be too late. "What do we do now, Captain?" Sora asked. Taemin watched as the human probe grew closer to their ship, carrying with it the hopes and curiosity of an entire species that had never learned to be afraid. "Now we wait," he said. "And we hope that when humans finally reach the stars, they decide to be our friends instead of our replacements." Outside, the probe continued its approach, carrying a simple message from the people of Earth. "Hello. We come in peace. We would like to be friends." But everyone on the alien ship knew that friendship with humans might be the most dangerous thing the galaxy had ever faced.